Alright, so I'm in a 2022 Z71 Tahoe. Placed the order late November 21. Dealership got allocation in April of 22. It was built in May of 22, and then it sat in Texas for 7-ish, 8-ish months. Started moving from Texas in December, and finally came in January 5th of 23. We picked it up on January 6th. Full 6.2 off-road package, airbags, air ride suspension. Pretty much the only thing we didn't get was a sunroof and the rear entertainment, which rear entertainment wasn't available. Sunroof was by choice, so we just didn't want one. But one thing's not available on these is the rear view camera mirror, which I have added, and gonna quickly run through some of the stuff that I ran into. I'm not going through install. There's an infotainment.com video out there that shows you, for the most part, the install on a Cadillac Escalade. Mounting the mirror itself, not hard at all. Running the wire to the back, not very difficult. I'll go ahead and crank the vehicle. You can see this one. Come on. Sorry about that. Turn off the heat and air. So there's the mirror. You can flip it down, make it a normal mirror, flip it up, camera comes on, you got your controls, zoom, shift left to right, pan, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, so I've left the trim off the back, so I can go through what I had to do to get this working. And I do have the washer nozzle functional as well, not just the camera, but I added the washer nozzle as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and open the rear hatch. We'll go in the back, and I'm gonna cut this off so you don't have to listen to the exhaust. All right, so I will say the image in the mirror was a little hazy. That's more the haze from the sun right now. Has nothing to do with the mirror itself. The image is perfectly clear. So your camera wire is going to come down the driver's side, come in here, and it's going to run right through here. Here's the wire itself. That's the wire that's feeding the camera. It's going to go up into this boot, come through. There's also a special hose. This hose right here basically has a Y fitting on it, which allows you to tap into the existing washer nozzle hose that comes to the rear wiper washer. So all of that is routed through this boot, through here. I bought some clips that clip into the holes, tie all the wires together, and this is where everything's at. I'll show you the outside in just a second. So this was the factory housing for the normal rear view camera, backup camera. And this is the camera that would go in that. This is not the OE camera on this particular vehicle. It's one that came out of a harness I bought. Let's see. And this is the actual camera it's used for the rear view mirror. All right. So one of the things I ran into, I bought this housing by itself for about 40 bucks. On the back side, to hold the cameras in place, there's a plate that screws in right here. That plate does not come with this $40 housing. So I could have got this done for a whole lot cheaper if you could get access to just that little plastic plate that screws in. The plate on the original housing will not work because the camera, rear view backup camera, moves from center to the side, and the plate that holds it in is shaped differently, so that won't work. I could not find a way to get that plate or housing that included the plate without buying a complete assembly off of eBay. Couldn't really find a part number in GM that included all that, so for about $175 I ended up buying a complete housing with both cameras, washer, nozzle. It also had a lead hose on the back from the washer nozzle. This one doesn't have it in there, but the washer nozzle fits right here. There was a lead hose probably 24 inches long, and that helped with hooking up the washer nozzle hose for the cameras. The assembly that I bought off of eBay, I'm assuming it was for an Escalade or something. I'll find a part number of what I ordered. There may be another part number out there, but it includes in the harness this double connector for two different cameras, one being your backup and the other one being your rear view camera mirror. The connectors for the wire, this wire right here that runs to the back, they will not attach to this because this is made for some connector that has 2-in-1, and the connectors with this housing with just the one camera is a single connector. So essentially you can't just buy this off of eBay or somewhere and plug and play, because the cable that runs from the front to the back along with the camera that's already in place will not connect to this. So basically what I did is I took that harness out, I pulled everything out of the boot, and I refed, which was a huge pain in the butt, but I refed the cameras. And let's see, so right here I refed, this is the lead hose for the washer nozzle, this is the, right here, this is the camera that I added for the mirror, and then right here is the original backup camera connector, and you can see that's two separate connectors. They will not connect into the double connector on the harness that came with the assembly I bought off of eBay. So I basically rebuilt that boot, fed everything through it. It's a pain in the butt because it's got a bunch of sticky stuff inside it to keep anything from moving or leaking, and I had to take all that out and get all this fed through. But anyway, so you got, again, your camera wire. This is the hose I had to get. It's got the Y fitting on it over here to tie into the washer nozzle or spray hose for the rear wiper, and it is all functional. But just wanted to go through some of the pain because I just was not able to find correct part numbers to just do this from scratch, and I mean with complete OE without tearing some stuff apart, and I really don't think it's possible, being that anything you buy pre-assembled is going to include this double connector, and we can't really make use of that when we only started with one. I've got some extra parts. Obviously I've got one of each camera, some housings that don't include back plates, what's left of this wiring harness. I did buy a hose that I thought was going to work for the rear washer fluid, and it was actually this hose right here that was already in place, so it didn't need that. I'll put together a list of the part numbers, what I did get. I mean, if all you want to add is the camera, and you could manage to find a housing that just has that plastic back plate, you could probably do this for, you know, 150 less than what I spent buying that assembled complete assembly off of eBay. But I just couldn't find it. I went to body shops and everywhere, and nobody could come up with that part. So let's see, I'll show you the outside. That hanging cable is for the button to close the rear hatch when you put the trim back on, which I don't have on yet. But here's your washer nozzle. Here's your camera for the rear view mirror, and then that's your standard backup camera. And this does spray really well, cleans both of them. So should work fine. There was a little bit of a delay the first time I used it, just because it had to fill the hose, extra length of hose with fluid. But once I ran it once, it worked immediately every other time. So anyway, all right, I'm gonna cut this off here. Hope it's helpful. Got any questions, leave a comment or whatever. Thanks.